And we are back with Crypto's Got Talent Semifinals, episode 1. It's been a while. I'm super excited to be here today. This is Deep in Jesus. I'll be your host for today. I'm head of DevRel at IoTex. I'm going to bring right away my co-host for today, Aaron, head of product at IoTex. Aaron, how are you today?
Amazing. Let's get after it. Super excited. We get to try out this new format today. Moving on to the semifinals.
I know it's been a while because we had to do some homework. There were a ton of projects that applied for this during the first phase of Crypto's Got Talent. So I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody that participated in the first phase. Obviously, I'm super excited for the projects that made it to this round, but I'm also just wanted to give a shout out to all the projects that we didn't select. Just keep on building, and everybody was actually great. This was really difficult, right?
Yes, exactly. And there will be a season 2, so feel free to apply again for season 2. We're gonna take another look. Some amazing potential projects out there that we could bring back.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. So for today, we have Nubila, Lilypad, Flashback, and ROVR. I think what we're going to do is bring the judges up here on stage with us, get an intro from them. But before we do that, actually, Aaron, I wanted to thank basically, everybody that's sponsoring this. So obviously, IoTex, the Polygon team, the Uglier team, Masari, Eliza OS, and Samsung Next for just making this possible. I think it's super cool. Everybody's having a great time. So
100%.
just wanted to say that. Yeah. Let's do judges, and then we gotta do the intro song. I think it's better if we jam, maybe with a few more people on stage.
Let's do it.
All right, let's bring them on. So today we're gonna have Kale. Hey, Kale, how's it going?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Nice. We have Scott. What's up, Scott?
And how's it going, everybody? Rob. Super excited.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I mean, you guys have been here before, we've been you've been part of this, so I hope you had a great time the first time around. And yeah, let's try this format, see how it works. Aaron, I think it's time. The greatest intro music of all time.
Yeah. Crypto's got talent. Deep in Jesus and Aaron on my kettle. Let's find the next big bang. Been around the block, seen projects come and go. Most of them basic, nothing special, just for show. But tonight we're different, half a milli up for grabs. Got the stage all set up, watching projects place the tabs. Every founder nervous, ripping slides with shaking hands. Some got innovation, others just got master plans. Me and Eric posted, checking every single spec. Gotta find that winner, put respect upon the tech. Looking sharp in these designer fits. Rating projects like we're taking hits. On that judges panel, keeping standards mighty high. Cause we know what makes it seem too many say goodbye. Welcome to the talent show, where change get built. $500,000 gonna make some dreams fulfill. The pin Jesus and Aaron, yeah, we keep it real. Show us what you got now, make that crypto deal.
Make the crypto deal. Let's go.
Make that crypto deal.
Let's go.
Semifinals. Right. Yes. Scott, what do you think about the background music?
I love it. I appreciate the when Aaron sent over the custom backgrounds. Everything's looking crispy, man.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you. Guys, why don't you just intro yourselves for a moment, and then we start with the first project. I have in order Kale, Rob, Scott.
Happy to do it. Been an IoTex fan for a long time. I'm a professional community manager in the space since 2021. Most recently been working with the Dabble Club. Dabble Club is here to turn builders into founders and founders into legends. So sat through a lot of ETH Global Hackathons, always just interested in watching what the latest projects are cooking up. So happy to be here, happy to help.
Nice. Thanks, Kale. Rob.
Hey, I'm Rob, one of the co-founders of Demo. We are a connected car network, next generation connected car network using blockchain and AI to make a whole ecosystem of exciting applications for car owners.
Nice. Thanks for being here. Scott.
Yeah, glad to be here again. I'm Scott Fool, CEO of Orbital Beam. So we're a network-based intelligence consortium for real-world applications. And think of it where capital, compliance, and connection all converge. So we help people in Web 2 on the enterprise side find their footing in Web 3 and vice versa. So take Web3 founders and projects as well, connect them with enterprises, different types of distribution, creating narratives for them, and getting them outside of the deep in circle. But yeah, work with everybody from Wingbits to D-Charge, and excited to be here and see who's going to get this great prize.
The crypto deal. All right, sounds good. Format-wise, for everybody watching, what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a short video about 4 minutes for each of the projects today, and then after the video, we're going to basically have a spokesperson for each project just come up on stage, and then our judges and ourselves will just ask some questions and we'll do some Q&A. So I guess without further ado, let's get rolling. So Nubila's first. I'm gonna play this right now.
Hi everyone, I'm Toby, the CMO at Nubila, where we're building the largest decentralized ESG data oracle, empowering AI for climate and business intelligence. The problem that we're solving is that there are huge parts of the world today that has very little access to hyperlocal real-time weather data. Hardware and sensors are expensive, and there's a huge socio-economic imbalance in terms of access to quality weather data. Until now, thanks to DeepIn technology, and thank you to IoTex for helping us, we have tokenization opportunities to incentivize people that wouldn't typically purchase a weather station to deploy one of our stations, share data in the knowledge that they will get their money back and even drive passive income. Why is this a huge opportunity right now? The answer is AI. According to the Boston Consulting Group, AI is turning the $18 billion weather industry into a $100 billion opportunity. And it's all about the data. Every single AI model being produced right now needs real-world anchor points to validate and continually retrain their outputs. And so Nubila is going to be uniquely positioned to become the data or the real-world asset oracle for all weather and ESG data to power climate and business intelligence for so many industries. I can't go into them all, but financial services, energy, insurance, agriculture, logistics, and travel, climate mitigation. Okay, it's product demo time, everyone. Yes, I'm up a ladder in my backyard in California. This is our incredible Marco weather station that we launched at the end of last year. You can see its compact, sleek design. It collects temperature, humidity, air pressure, UV, and wind speed. It transmits data via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. It comes with a solar panel, as you can see here. We have an app so that station owners can view their data and data from every Nubila station around the world. Right, let's talk revenue model. There are three main revenue streams. Number one, the hardware sales. Weather Geeks purchase approximately 950,000 weather stations every year. So there's huge demand out there for us to capture. We already have an API to sell our raw data, and perhaps the biggest opportunity in the long term are the endless AI apps and agents that we can build for businesses in the industries I've already mentioned. Let's talk go-to-market. Initially, we really leveraged community building on Discord and Twitter to sell devices to early adopters in the DeepIn Web3 community. We're now launching campaigns to reach the traditional weather enthusiast and smart home market. We have distributors in most major geo markets, and we have some really exciting discussions ongoing with traditional retailers to sell our hardware. Recapping what we've done, we raised $2.5 million in July last year. We purchased the Bloom Sky weather station network in September last year, which is how we have incredible hardware manufacturing capabilities and facilities. We shipped our Marco weather station in December. January, we launched our API and our first weather AI agent called Kayla. And today, we have 20,000 stations deployed and 20 plus data clients, one of which is Wise Sprinklers. They use our data to automate irrigation systems for their clients. We have a very interesting partnership that we're building with a drone company that's delivering in parts of the US for some major retailers, and we help them plan their flights. What sets Nubila apart from our competitors, I hear you ask? Well, we facilitate data across the entire weather value chain. So we are competing with point solution providers in each of these areas. As mentioned, we can create our own equipment. We are obviously a huge data provider. We're collecting so much raw data. We are building our own data intelligence apps through AI. And of course, we are building up a sales strategy and partnerships with the end users, the large brands around the world that can use our data and intelligence. This is reflected in the team. Benson and Bob are our co-founders, and they both have incredible Web3 and AI experience. Amy, our chief of AI, has incredible AI experience too. Hog is our hardware expert, and I bring the weather industry experience. What's next? We are looking to secure $8 million in funding right now so that we can help expedite deploying 20,000 stations in the US, 40,000 globally. Those are our goals for the end of year. We are already conducting R&D into new sensor hardware, new weather stations, but also air quality and other environmental sensors. We are integrating environmental SDKs into AI agent platforms so other developers can use our data. We are finalizing our own AI app go-to-market strategy, and we are launching a new version of our API. Thanks for listening. These are our contact details, and I'm looking forward to some great questions.
Okay, we are back. Guys, what do you think? Let's bring Toby in and maybe let's ask him some questions.
Hey guys, sorry about the janky video editing. Not my forte.
I love a homemade job. So I got a quick one
I have 4 minutes. They gave me 4 minutes.
I understand those gates are hard to hit sometimes. The validator nodes. What's the compute load look like if I wanted to be a validator and support this weather data network?
I'm trying to think. Let me rack my brain. I think it's licensed so far. Yeah, I don't have that on the top of my head. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I have a couple.
I'm a weather geek at heart.
I totally understand. Yeah, there's a lot of stack involved in this. Real quick. So, do you have any insight on how they validate the data? How do the validations occur after the actual stations capture it?
After the stations capture it, yeah, they download. We have. As you can tell, I really don't. I'm the weather guy. I'm not the Web3 guy. So all I know is that we have several validated providers as services. It's people use software. They download software to run the node. So validation is normalization. It's just normalizing the data and cleaning it up.
Got it.
And we have our own AI algorithm that kind of obviously does a sanity check. And as we grow more and more towards critical mass, our AI QC just gets more and more accurate.
Some validation nodes require like pretty heavy compute and dedicated.
Oh no, these do not. I know that, but
that's exactly
I'm afraid not being the weather geek, not the Web3 geek. I'm sorry, I can't answer that.
That's all right, Toby.
Decision. But it's definitely pretty light.
What is the AI that you're building? Can you describe more of what that is? Is it a bespoke physical AI model, standalone model? Is it feeding into someone else's model?
Right now, we just built our own AI agent called Kayla, which is just a very kind of consumer friendly. You can ask a question about, say, hey, I'm going to Seattle next weekend. What's the weather going to be like, and what activities should I plan? And it uses LLMs to give you a really in-depth analysis of the typical climate, the typical things you should pack, places to eat if it's really sunny.
Is this like a ChatGPT assistant that you're feeding files into?
Yeah, we use the Bino AI framework that IOTEX and Eliza OS amazingly built for us. So that's a very consumer play, but we're scoping out now, and we're kind of speccing more more B2B enterprise solutions. So top ones right now that we're exploring are solar output variability monitoring. So to help solar companies, probably more importantly, the financial companies backing these solar companies, to understand, hyperlocal forecast outputs for energy, microgrid and battery optimization. Again, great for energy companies. Wildfire risk monitoring is high on the list, and insurance claim validation. So those are 4 of 3. We've evaluated over 300 of them. So, I mean, the list is endless. Obviously, there's a lot of these companies that are making their own AI agents. So in some cases, they may take our raw data, but we see the opportunity with our AI expertise. We see the opportunity to really lead the charge in developing this incredible climate and business intelligence.
And Toby, since you mentioned hyperlocal data, do you plan on is the device you have now, Marco, is that going to be your go-to device? Do you plan on, making another device?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because the reason why I asked this, what we're seeing now in the DeepIn space is a lot of the enterprises don't care about replacing, but on the user, the regular guy, if we want grandma to come use, she probably doesn't want to replace something every year. So just wondering, so 2 questions. Is there going to be another device or another way to be a part of the network? And will that be future proof and modular? So, I can either just join today, or I don't have to keep buying a device, every time there's like a tech upgrade, on your guys' side.
There will definitely be no need to upgrade, but there will be options to upgrade. The Marco station is kind of our base, kind of table stakes for weather data, but we're already exploring a pro version that would add precipitation and wind direction. Also, the Bloom Sky station that we purchased had a sky camera, so we still have a lot of that data, which is super interesting for cloud cover, really important for solar as well, being able to see the cloud cover. Probably might be called, you heard it here first, might be called Polo, you never know. But we're also looking at, as I said, outside of weather, we're looking heavily right now into air quality, and eventually we want to be basically the oracle for all ESG data. But obviously, as we sell the bigger devices, we have to kind of think bigger batteries, bigger solar panels. It's obviously not straightforward, but that's why I think we're kind of unique in that we have incredible hardware designer and manufacturing experience through Hog and his team in China.
And Toby, going back to your pitch, we always see, we're gonna go to Web 2 and get the financial freedom guys, kind of the outside, we'll say outside the DeepIn echo chamber. Nemo's done a masterful job. I'm glad Rob's here. What are you guys' plan for narrative and getting the people that you want interested in the end, right? We love our DGen, Web3, the DeepIn, we're here. But for this thing to really grow, we need the demos, the geonets, what is your plan? It looks good, to everyone in the deck, that, that's the plan. But I was really curious, what is the strike between weather and getting these guys onboarded?
Yeah, so we've already integrated with the Weather Underground network. So if you purchase one of our stations, you can also join Weather Underground, which is huge, because I basically built that community to 250,000 stations, was my previous role before, which is why, when Bob and Benson approached me and, opened my mind to the possibilities of how DeepIn can actually give back to the community, we built this amazing company called Weather Underground, right? The original, crowd-driven weather station network, biggest in the world. They were so happy to give us the data for free, but then when the founders decided to sell to the devil himself in the Weather Channel, that was when they were suddenly like, "What the frick? Like, come on, guys. Well, like, we've given you all this data for free, and you're going to just dump us, sell to the devil, and run off. Imagine if we were able to give back in the way that DeepIn can. The other quick thing is obviously using incentives to get stations put up in areas of the world that really need it. That's the most transforming part of DeepIn. And like, yeah, with my being a weather background geek, it's just, yeah, it's incredible. Throw in the prevalence of AI, where data is key. Every AI model around climate and weather and the environment needs anchor points, right, to validate the output and retrain constantly, and the demand is just going to be huge.
And those, just real quick, those are like forecasting models that like they would use in Valencia. So they would have like a heads up on a flood and save lives, obviously, something like that.
Yeah, a lot of early warning alert systems will just be triggered. Yeah, even the biggest forecasting companies in the world, like Google and Nvidia, yeah, their number one problem, if you ever talk to them, is not enough data. So, yeah, just the regular forecasts will be improved, but in particular, in parts of the world, the global south in particular, will, yeah, hopefully, as well as getting more pro stations, we're looking at getting even lower cost stations. If we drop the anemometer, and just temperature and air pressure could be hugely valuable for better forecasts across Africa and in particular South America. Yeah.
Awesome. Toby, thank you. That's time. Thanks for the presentation. Thanks for the Q&A. We're going to bring Toby back off stage. Thanks again for the presentation. And next up, we have Lilypad. All right, let's do it.
Hi, everyone. This is Jay from Lilypad Network. Lilypad is building the rails for an open AI economy, one where anyone can deploy powerful models, earn from their work, and help solve humanity's greatest challenges. The next big breakthrough in AI won't happen behind closed doors. It'll happen in public and be built by everyone. Ali, who is our founder and CEO, is a mechatronics engineer, and she helped launch the Filecoin virtual machine when she was at Protocol Labs. While there, she also built a decentralized compute network and realized that crypto incentives can help scale and verify AI infrastructure. Then she met Stan. Stan is a Google engineer and AI researcher at Stanford who was running into similar issues but from opposite sides of the problem. And that's when it clicked. The real bottleneck in AI isn't resources or even talent, it's access. The current landscape locks people out at every level. Compute is expensive and gated. Model creators can't monetize their work without giving it away, and deploying models requires infrastructure that most people don't have access to. The people pushing AI forward, the scientists, developers, and independent builders, are stuck on the sidelines. Lilypad flips the model. We're building a decentralized AI stack that anyone can use. It combines a distributed GPU network, a permissionless model marketplace, and developer-ready APIs, all coordinated on-chain with verifiable execution and native monetization built right in. Since our testnet launch, Lilypad has powered over 1 million tasks, 30,000 jobs are running on the network daily, and we have over 300,000 signups on our API. But more important than that, Lilypad is already powering real applications, like a Dell-backed protein folding pipeline, an oncology research agent at Cedars-Sinai, and sensor-based climate workflows with NatGeo. It gives developers the APIs, compute, and economics they need to deploy AI in the wild, not just in demos. Lilypad earns a fee from every compute job, whether it's inference, training, or post-processing. The revenue from every transaction is split between the GPU provider, the model creator, and Lilypad. Our go-to-market strategy activates both supply and demand. We start with a Stripe-based inference API subscription to onboard developers. Then we layer in a SaaS experience for the model marketplace, followed by downstream products like agents and pipelines. The token launch drives distribution at scale, and longer term, we expand into enterprise deployments with partners like Dell. Everything in our go-to-market and monetization roadmap feeds into this flywheel. As we onboard model creators through subscriptions and SaaS, demand for compute grows. That demand pulls in GPU providers, which reinforces the network's economics, rewarding contributors, and keeping the loop turning. This is how we scale decentralized AI as a self-sustaining ecosystem. Most platforms, if you look at our competitors, they solve one piece of the puzzle. They're either model marketplaces, compute networks, or AI tooling provider. Lilypad coordinates all three. Unlike closed platforms like OpenAI or Stability, we offer open access, transparent economics, and native monetization. Unlike fragmented infra projects, we offer full stack. And unlike research-only protocols, Lilypad is live with real models, active jobs, and builders shipping on the network today. We're not betting on the trend. We're building the foundation for where AI is actually going. Our roadmap includes fine-tuning, private inference pipelines, provenance tracking for model IP, and even quantum dev environments. Lilypad is infrastructure that scales with research and keeps it open. Our team blends deep technical expertise with execution. Ali built developer platforms at IBM and Protocol Labs. Stan led scalable ML systems at Google and Stanford. And around them is a team of engineers and advisors from top AI labs and Web3 networks, all focused on delivery. We're raising now to scale our go-to-market and launch our Lilypad token. The infrastructure is live, real teams are building on it, and the ecosystem is growing fast. We've done the hard part. Now it's about visibility, distribution, and unlocking what comes next. We built the blueprint, the opportunity is here, and we want to invite the right partners to help us bring this to the world. Thank you.
Amazing.
All right.
Let's get
Shall we
into
bring
it.
him on? Yes.
Do it.
Hello,
Great
hello,
job, Jay.
everyone.
Killed
Hey,
it.
nice to see you all. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited. Let's get to it.
Super smooth presentation. First of all, I'll open it up to the floor if you guys have any questions.
I had just a quick one with the fee model that Lilypad implements for the compute. Who determines that, and how could it possibly be changed in the future?
Yeah, so that's actually provided by the model creators. So the model creator, they would provide the fee that they're interested in, which is where the model marketplace comes into play, so that you can see the type of jobs you want to run, what fees are associated with that, and then you decide where you want to do it there. We've been kind of in talks internally about how to route this and stuff appropriately, but that is top of mind for model creators to set their own fees.
It's good to see you again. I saw you at the last one that we did in person, and it was impressive then, and it's impressive still now. I guess one quick question for you. In the time since the last time I met you and now, I played a bit. I built my own app using an AI assistant, and I've gotten more familiar with the difference between assistants and basic messages, and the ability to kind of have a persistent assistant with threads and files and things like that. Can you talk more about the actual product you offer around the APIs? Like, is it just a way to ask an isolated prompt and create one-off conversations? Do you have threading? Do you have files? What's the overall developer experience like?
Yeah, so we realized that the memory issue is a problem, and we were working with things like N8N that have these modules built in where you can add memory and support. As of right now, it is primarily focused on one-shot inference. Like you said, you have one prompt, you get it back. Now, if you want to expand on that, what you can do is take the entire context of the conversation, refeed it to the model so it understands the full context, and then it can continue that conversation. So there are some workarounds that we're considering and building into that as we continue to develop a solution.
Cool. And is it text only, or do you also do like images, video, that kind of stuff?
So as of right now, we support text models. We support text to image, text to video. We've also recently supported that about a week or two ago. And with our last release, if you look at our Discord this morning, our engineer just said, hey, you guys could all upload files to actually interact with these models as well. So we are aware of all the problems, and we are addressing those problems as we grow.
And then, so as like a model developer myself, not me, hypothetically, if I train my own model, and I listed it in your marketplace, all of these things are kind of handled out of the box for me.
So there are some things that you would need to do in order for you to bring it onto the network, right? So you have some open source AI system. You want to create it into a module, which is a Docker container. So that keeps all of your data there. And then we will interact with it by having a call from our network, go over to that Docker container, give the response. And that's generally how it's handled.
Cool.
Hey, Jay, nice to see you. I just see that I saw the 300,000 users, and it's crazy to see your growth from like when I first met Ali way. I mean, like almost a year and a half, 2 years now. So just congratulations on that. My question is, how do you just plan on keeping this crazy scale, and then also too keeping the retention with all these really cool offerings that makes you different than, say, like somebody like a Kosh, who's like, you know, they have this great FDV, but I think their new user rate is almost like down to like 0.1% or something like that. So yeah, I saw that really cool graph of your comparisons to everybody else with your offerings. So just just wondering, you know, how you want to keep that growth going, and then also keep the retention on those other offerings that make you different.
I think the key is to identify where the end consumer is and where they're currently using AI. As of right now, we see people using AI in NAN and Make.com. We want to be able to plug into those tools, make our tools accessible so that you can plug this into your AI workflows. We already see demand. You're already using AI. We want to offer you a better solution for things that you can't currently address. So the key there is going to the infrastructure level, plugging into these systems that can help us scale that already have the users. And not only are we doing that on the Web 2 side, we're also doing that on the Web 3 side. So there's a bunch of agent platforms that are springing up that need some sort of inference, right? Maybe they want to generate an image, but they're only an LLM or something like that. So more recently, we're working with like Morpheus so that we have a subnet, and whoever runs AI agents on there can use us to actually pull reference. So we are aware that in order to scale, we need to meet customers where they're at, where they're currently using AI, and deliver them in a way that they feel comfortable and familiar with.
Sweet. Awesome, Jay. Great seeing your growth, man.
Thank you.
That'll actually kind of follow me back through here then, Jay. I'm wondering, have you guys seen any particular models or type of AI workflows that are showing like the greatest consumption or demand? What are our people using right now?
Yeah, it's interesting because we have this discussion internally. Do we value high impact inference or do we value volume? So there's a lot of high impact inference that is happening on BioML. This research, one of our community members published about a week ago, research on enzymes and protein and folding and how they're using that for different medications. So it's interesting, this conversation, because the question is like, do we value these high inference things that require a lot of GPUs, or do we require small little LLM interactions that are maybe tiny amounts of compute but serve a significant volume? And we have a kind of approach to address each one of these. Like I mentioned, we have something for these platforms and how to scale. We have partner relationships, private channels in our Discord with about 10 to 15 companies that we are hand holding and discussing through this.
Amazing. Yeah, I was just going to ask if you mind getting into a little bit about your roadmap and milestones that you guys might have over the next couple months here.
Yeah, sure. So we've announced our community board, right? So we want to get people interested. Our biggest challenge right now is marketing and getting it out there. I tend to find that once people are aware, they're excited, they're interested. We have people that we introduce to it. They start running things immediately. So it works. The tech works. The challenge now is getting the word out and onboarding users.
What is your current method of marketing?
So currently, we're mostly doing Discord, Twitter. We're going through all these different platforms like here to try to win grants. We were recently accepted into Tezos, so we're going through that accelerator. We were accepted into OLAS, so we're going through that accelerator. And we're going partner to partner saying, hey, whether we win this or not, we're interested in working with you. This is a great opportunity to break the ice. Let's talk. And then we're taking those opportunities from there.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Those seem pretty like Web3 native type of people you're trying to approach that way. How about in the Web 2 side? Is there any methods you have of marketing there?
Yeah, so there it started off with the researchers, mostly because of Stan and his network, and we started off with working with DeSci communities there. So that is our primary focus for Web 2. I think the other outlet will be the NAN, the Make.com, only because people are used to doing one-shot inferences. They're probably not aware that that's what they're doing, but essentially that is. So yeah, that's our plan to market to end consumers.
Awesome. All right, Jay. Great job. G, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, that was amazing. Jay, thank you. All right.
Thank you all.
Yeah, for sure. Great to see
Thanks,
the progress. And yeah, we'll see you up on some of the next things for sure. Next up, we do have Flashback. So we're going to say goodbye to Jay. I'll bring you off stage.
Thanks, Jay.
And we're going to start the Flashback video.
AI and Web3 are driving the growth of a $180 billion cloud storage industry. The data storage inefficiencies are holding them back. Centralized providers are fast and reliable, but expensive and risking points of failure. Deep-in solutions like Filecoin have emerged as more affordable alternatives with strong features for privacy and governance, but are often slower and require a whole new tech stack to interact with them. Today's fragmented market of data storage solutions is inefficient and costs AI and Web3 companies significant resources and time, leaving them with the choice of selecting a single cloud provider that risks vendor lock-in, high transfer costs, limiting the ability to try alternative emerging decentralized solutions that offer much promise, and huge data bills that mean spending up to 20 to 25% of revenue on storage. As individual options, today's cloud providers have too many friction points for modern storage needs and hold back growth. We believe there's a better way for companies to store data. Meet Flashback, the world's first agentic AI cloud diversification platform, an aggregation layer that enables companies to diversify their storage with both centralized and decentralized cloud providers. The main benefits of Flashback include the reduction of storage costs by up to 30 to 35%, the management and utilization of accounts and credits from multiple providers in one platform, and the easy access to deep-in storage solutions without having to learn a whole new tech stack or download a crypto wallet. So how does the platform actually work? A company connects to the platform with either their email, Gmail account, or GitHub. We want to make Flashback and the benefits of Web3 as accessible as possible to anyone from any background without even having to think about it. Once you connect, we have the homepage, which provides a high-level overview of your data storage allocation, recent activity, and our agentic AI, which analyzes your data and activity on Flashback and provides customized recommendations on the most optimized and cost-efficient way for you to store your data. Then going on to actually managing the data you store. Here we've made it as easy as possible for you to add and manage buckets for storing data with traditional and deep-in cloud providers with just a few clicks of a button. After creating a bucket, you'll want to customize how you interact and diversify your data storage across the different providers, which is where the repositories and APIs come in, a space to manage your multiple storage buckets for a fully immersive experience of multi-cloud diversification. Here we're making it a similar experience to what developers are used to encountering in Web 2 and traditional systems. While our alpha version currently shows the fundamentals related to your storage across different cloud providers and gives an insight into how they compare, the analytics and metrics dashboard will expand to provide more in-depth custom analytics and insights into usage, spend, and storage performance. Then going on to how we make money. We have two main revenue streams. First is a transaction fee on the volume of data traffic coming through our platform. The second is a subscription fee. While any company can interact and store data on the platform for free, with a subscription plan, they'll get access to tool chains, support, and greater customization for the whole storage allocation journey. Which brings us to our team. My co-founder and I have combined PhD specialized in machine learning and over a decade of experience in AI and Web3 are tackling a data issue that we encountered firsthand when building products. And after a year and a half of development, we've built the initial technology, have brought together a strong team of complementary skill sets across growth and tech, and an ecosystem of backers, including Drapu Ventures, Google Cloud, Stellar, and Starknet, and are set to release our private alpha version in a week's time with 10 pilot customers and over 100 companies from AI and Web3 on our whitelist. We are now raising a $1.2 million pre-seed round to accelerate and scale our product towards our main launch in July, and are ready to make Flashbacks and deep-in storage's potential a reality.
Yes, guys. Wow. It sounded like a movie to me. Great voice. Let's bring the man on. Zach, how are you?
Hello. It's an absolute pleasure, and it's great to see you guys again, Deepin Jesus and Aaron. Lovely to meet you. The rest of everyone else.
All right, guys, go at it.
Yeah, I'm going to dive right in. This is really interesting to me. So let me just make sure that I'm fully and clearly understanding. Y'all are an aggregator service of all these other platform choices for storage, correct? You're not providing your own storage. You're providing a better user experience for me to find the best storage method.
Exactly, that's correct. And so the way we see it today is centralized traditional solutions like AWS and cloud, they have their own benefits where they're fast and reliable, but they are expensive and they're risking points of failure. There's also high egress costs to try and actually leave them. So that causes single cloud vendor lock-in. Equally, deep-in storage solutions, as we all know, they offer significant benefits as well, which is they're significantly more affordable. They're also very great for archival and privacy and governance. But currently today, they're just way too slow for most modern applications. And similarly, they're also way too hard to access. So for example, a developer may have to learn a whole new technology stack just to interact with them or download a cryptocurrency wallet. And so, for example, for an AI company or a typical technology company, the last thing you want to hear about is blockchain. Look, I love blockchain just as much as everyone else in this room. But the fact is trying to convince an AI company to move away from a Google Cloud to a Filecoin or a Storgy, it just ain't happening. And so what we're trying to say is, instead of looking at it from a centralized versus decentralized perspective, or making companies having to choose one or the other, we're saying actually no, we can combine the benefits of both. And so what ends up happening is you store data where it's most optimal and where it makes most sense.
And so to follow up, that's perfect explanation there, Zach. I appreciate that. So how are you determining what optimal is for me at the end of the user? Is it surely by cost per gigabyte, or how are we deciding where I put what?
So that's a really great question again, Kale. And so what we do is a company will connect to the platform, they'll provide their data, they'll also provide their requirements. And so what we'll do is we'll utilize our own agentic AI to analyze these inputs, and then we'll come up with the most optimized and cost-efficient way to actually store the data across the different cloud providers. And so this will be constantly changing with the different types of data that you're actually storing in itself, and also depending on the performance that you're requiring. But equally, this will also change with the pricing models of the different storage providers as well. And so, what we can do is we can provide a recommendation. And if a customer says, yes, this is what I would like to do, then we can automate it. But similarly, we also want to give developers and companies the option to just say, hey, look, I know exactly what I want it to do, and I want to store it in this way. And so we enable you to do what takes hundreds of hours with an engineering team to do by yourself within minutes, up to an hour, just through our platform.
That makes sense. I'm a big fan of the ROVR ecosystem, but it's very clear that you don't need to store everything for long-term persistent data and access. So that makes good sense. I'll yield the floor.
What makes the AI agentic if it's just offering recommendations?
Yeah, so that's a great question again. And so this really depends on, because what we're trying to build here is first as far as we can tell, and it's also based upon the data. The data isn't currently available to us because the type of data AI that we're trying to train isn't out there today. And so this is based upon the data that we have to collect through our own platform. And so initially it's going to be based upon unsupervised machine learning algorithms, and such that it will be more of a chatbot system in which it will provide recommendations. But over time, as we collect more data and based upon your own user behavior and data usage, it will then enable smart, intelligent, multi-cloud switching. It will also track the type of data that you're storing, for example, with a fast data retrieval storage provider who may be centralized. But if it's seeing that actually you're not actually retrieving that data that often, you could be saving your data storage costs by actually storing it with Filecoin, or if a decentralized storage option as an alternative, then it will actually flag that up, and then it will provide that recommendation similarly. And so this is just one of the types of AI that we have within the platform itself, but equally we'll have multiple different types of AI agents which are providing assistance throughout the actual storage allocation journey.
So you want to replace the function of the DevOps engineer with your agentic AI that can automatically, pick the best redundant storage options and pricing and all that. A lot of times with storage as well, when people choose an AWS, for example, they're not just getting it for the raw storage cost, but for all of the different managed services that Amazon offers, easy to deploy and for security and all kind of stuff. How does that factor in? Is that kind of out of scope for this, and it's really just about raw storage?
No, that's a great point. And so for us, you're still going to own your account. You're still going to own your AWS account. You're still going to own your Google Cloud account. You're also still going to have access to all the deep in storage providers. It's probably better that we don't have access to your AWS account such that we can see all of this stuff and we have control. We want you to have complete control over that. But equally, it means that you're able to get the benefits and advantages of an AWS, whether that's the reliability, speed, or the additional benefits that comes, or even the credits. So you can manage and utilize all of the different credits and accounts from different providers just through our platform. But essentially, we're just this middle layer. We're almost like we're a middle layer.
So I could totally imagine the case where I'm using AWS and I'm using a bunch of their different tools, and I get a recommendation to have a redundant data store on ROVR or something like that. And I go, cool, I'll take that recommendation. It does seem like a cheap, redundant way to store data for a backup, but I still need, AWS for XYZ. I guess once it becomes, so one, is that an accurate characterization of kind of like what I would get from the AI is like, hey, here's your best way to create your redundant data store. And two, I guess when it's agentic, I guess it'd be kind of a nightmare if I woke up and all of my data was deleted from AWS and ported to IPFS, and now wasn't able to load the right way, or tools were breaking or whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly a great point. No, what we're not trying to do here is automatically having full control over your data storage, unless at some point in the future we see from enough clients and companies saying, hey, actually, we want to put it in your hands, and we sign off, complete control to you to manage this, and I just want full optimization, then we can do that. But today, that is not the case. What we're trying to say is, we'll do all of the research, we'll provide you the tools to find the most optimized way to do it, and then it's within your hands to decide, okay, I want to do this or I don't want to do this. The last thing we're going to be doing is deleting your data and removing access to that, as in that just completely defeats the purpose of us coming in here. You might as well use an AWS job just by yourself, where they can press a button, you lose access to your data.
Yeah, I may be getting hung up on the agentic word in there, and also I'm not an engineer. I just play one on TV, so
no worries.
The DevOps world is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. I'll yield my time. So over to Scott.
Hey, Zach, man, I love the both way thing, and I guess my question, I don't know if like you've talked to enterprises or you already have them as customers. What's their reaction? Because out here in Silicon Valley, when I brought the DPIN idea, just decentralized, they're like, wait a second, that guy, that's our client. I'm not going to air nobody out, but they're like, yo, they ping off ours, when that's not available. And that, I guess that's always been the argument for just like fully DPIN storage. And yeah, I really love this, like, the best of both worlds. Cause for me, I'm a Web 2.5 guy. So I like, how that fits in. What is the enterprise's reactions like if you're working with any? You don't have to give like too much alpha, but yeah, I'm very curious what they're saying to you with the both way, because I think that's like what they were secretly telling me. Like you're gonna have to have like the best of both worlds, basically.
No, that's an incredible point, and the reason I say that is because a bit of background behind our journey. We initially set out to create our own DPIN storage provider, so a competitor to a Filecoin and Arweave that provided decentralized data storage, but was fast. And so it would be just as fast as AWS's Google Cloud. We did this for a year and a half or so. And we realized after speaking with hundreds, if not thousands of founders, that actually it wasn't about trying to create the perfect DPIN storage solution. Because trying to convince someone to move away from an AWS or a Google Cloud to try and use us was just very, very difficult, because as Rob was mentioning, there's certain benefits that comes with using a Google Cloud, where ease of access, certain benefits, speed and reliability. And just to say, hey, I want you to use a blockchain version, I mean, it's not, it's not really the most convincing argument. And we moved to Silicon Valley in November, actually, and we encountered so many AI companies and companies from outside of Web3, and they were telling us similar things. And this is when we started to realize that actually we ourselves and the rest of the market we were looking at it from the wrong lens and wrong perspective. And actually, you can have the benefits of blockchain and Web3 without having to shout to everyone, this is blockchain and Web3. We just want to say, hey, look, at the end of the day, if I go to an AI company and I say, you get reduced cost by up to 30-35%, you get improved privacy and governance, and you're able to manage all your accounts within one single unified platform, do you want to use this? They say, yes, I do want to use this. And so I think it's stating the benefits instead of saying, hey, this is the technology we're using behind it. And with regards to, for example, enterprises, this is one of the reasons why we're able to onboard them and we have them as pilot customers. It's because we don't have the barriers to entry, such as you can sign up with a GitHub or you can sign up with an email or Gmail. You could pay with stables and native cryptocurrencies if you want to, but equally, our first option is you can pay with fiat. And so here you never have to touch Web3, but you see, the Web3 is running in the background.
Zach, I love that. And anyone who follows me, I always say Web3, the mullet, right? Business up front, all that crazy stuff that we love. Keep that all in the back and optional, right? Like maybe later on down the line, somebody might, or, you have that open end in the background for something else. But no, I'm super bullish, Jack. That amazing, man. I can't wait to see your journey from here.
Love it.
Sweet.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, and thanks, Zach. We'll definitely, catch up after this. So yeah, thanks again for the presentation, and I'll remove you from stage. See you around. And next up, we do have ROVR. So I'm gonna play the video, and then we'll bring Guang from backstage. Okay, guys, we had a technical issue. It could have been great. We were almost there, almost a full episode with no technical issue, but we couldn't hear Guang's sound. So, Guang, do you think you could do it live? Maybe if we bring the slides up, or maybe do you just want to talk about ROVR just here with us?
Oh my God.
What do you prefer?
So sorry, I don't have the pitch deck with me.
Okay, so let me see. I could try to.
But why don't you just talk us through it? Tell us about the aliens and what they want from us and what they've done with our cows and the people in Missouri and what they're here for.
Yeah, because I want to emphasize the data is very important for the AI, and I also want to emphasize that right now we just have the 2D data, the text, images, audios, videos on the internet, but it's very difficult to find the 3D data on the internet. So ROVR is aiming to collect the 3D data. I mean the high accurate and the large scale 3D data on the road, on the public space, and we are using the 3D data for training the AI models, especially the reinforcement learning from human feedback. And also we will use that 3D data for building the HD maps, high definition maps for autonomous driving and the ADAS system. Yeah, and our network was up and running last September, and right now we got 3,000 contributors, and we also collect 50 million kilometers data. And also our hardware, we got two types of hardware. The first one is the small one, the low cost one, and we also got the professional hardware with LiDAR, camera, and the GNSS RTK and the IMU. I mean the professional grade IMU. So yeah, that's all. Also we got some data customers who already built our data for the AI training. Yeah.
That's cool. So you're speaking my language. We at DEMO we do vehicle telemetry, and we're not doing we're not mounting lidar sensors onto the car yet. But that's also not really what we do. We are more of a protocol for collecting data like that. We're not necessarily tied to any specific type of data, but so I love what you're doing. It looks a little bit like lidar hive mapper. Is that a fair characterization?
Not exactly, because we are different from HiMapper. I think HiMapper's ambition is to be the Web3 Google Map.
Yep.
Yeah. And our target is to we have two data products. The first one is we just provide the raw data for the AI training, especially for the spatial AI training. And our second product is the HD maps. HD map is different from the SD maps. HD maps is just using for the machines, not for human. Yeah. So HiMapper and us, we have a different hardware, and we have a different data products.
Yeah, and so when I say lidar hive mapper, what I mean is you're creating a map, whereas they might be going after more street view style uses and people trying to identify the numbers on buildings and things like that, speed limits. You're more so trying to create maps that self-driving cars will use to know where obstacles are.
Mm-hmm.
You might both look at speed limits, might both look at bridge heights, things like that, but you just maybe going after a different customer. It sounds like you could also build a street view map with your tool.
Oh yes,
the HD map is, yeah, but it's just not as much. It's not your singular focus. You're also maybe looking more so for 3D metadata. And are you also connecting to? How are you connecting this to the car? Is it plugging into the OBD port? What's the power source? And
no, we just use our hardware, and our contributors put the hardware on the top of the car and collect the data. Not use the OBD.
What powers it?
Use the car battery. It's the cigarette lighter. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Maybe I think you can just play the video. Yeah. You can read the subtitle. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Please. Yeah. There's some videos in there to show our hardware and to show how to use all the ROVR, light cone hardware there.
Our hosts are trying to fight through the tech right now. So I wanted to ask too, so obviously cars right now are the primary collection method. Do y'all envision additional methods of collecting and mapping? Are boats in the mix? Do we have aviation in the mix? Or is this explicitly for road-based mapping?
Yes. The first the data of course is for the navigation, and but this is just the one specific purpose of our data product HD maps. But the main, of course, the HD map is a long-term data product, because all our data customers care about the coverage. So as a startups, as a startup, we don't have the sufficient the coverage. So our short-term data product is to provide the 3D data sets for AI training, and we already sold some data to the AI companies who is the autonomous driving solution provider, for the OEMs.
And if I were to secure this hardware and throw it on top of my car, what does the incentive model look like for me as a contributor today?
Token, ROVR token. Yeah, we already TGE, and people can get ROVR token when they drive in the car, and if the data quality is acceptable, they will get.
Guys, I have a proposition. I'm gonna try to put the video back on stage. I uploaded a different version. See if I get the audio. If not, I might just share my screen and play the video on my laptop and see if that works. Otherwise, we'll just keep maybe asking Wang a couple of more questions. But I think it would be cool because in the video it kind of shows like the data.
Yeah.
There are like some cool examples. I thought it was a nice video. But worst case, if we don't get to play it, everybody watching also on X, we can just maybe add it in the comments and maybe add the other videos as well, so everybody can just watch them.
Subtitles were fine too. I was having
Yeah, I saw subtitle.
Oh,
Yeah.
still
no
okay.
audio,
Okay.
so just play it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's try it.
Yeah.
So
My English is horrible anyway, so you can read it. Yeah.
let me see. It doesn't allow me to. Wang, I think if you also want to comment while the video is playing, you totally can.
Oh, okay. And yeah, I want to emphasize the data is very important. Yeah. Yeah, for the AI training. Yeah, there are three pillars of AI: the powerful hardware, the GPU, and the models, yeah, the algorithms. But the most important thing is the data. Yeah, the data for AI training. Yeah. So the data, it's especially the human data, yeah, it's very important. Yeah. Yeah. And Tesla is the biggest AI company, not not OpenAI. Yeah. Most of the data is 2D. And yeah, video, audio, yeah, useful but limited. Yeah, the next generation AI is spatial AI. And yeah, people need a 3D data like this. Yes, this is the data collected by our hardware. Yeah, this is LiDAR data. You can see here. And this is another type of the LiDAR data. Yeah.
So Tesla data is 2D?
Yes, of course. Tesla data is 2D, and our data is 3D, authentic 3D, I mean. Yeah.
Waymo would also have 3D data, right? I mean, that's the distinction is LiDAR versus camera.
Yeah, but people, yeah, you can see our hardware like this. Yes, you can see.
Hey,
Yeah,
Gwen, you want to talk about your background too, like maybe a little bit while this video is going? What you did before this?
You mean my career before create the rover?
Yeah, like how you used to do this before DeepIn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's important for people to know that.
Yeah. Before I create rover project, I worked in Valida LiDAR for 7 years, and Valida LiDAR, it's the Google, the Google self-driving car, they're using the LiDAR, and the early version of the Google self-driving car, they are using the Valida LiDAR, and yeah, I worked there for 7 years, and I also work in the mapping and the autonomous driving industry. Yeah, so I'm Web 2 guy, Web 2.5 guy. Yeah. So before Valida LiDAR, I was also a telecom engineer, and I took more than 10 years to build just the 2,000 base stations. But so when I heard Helium, they just took 2 years to build 1 million base stations. I saw this it's impossible. So that's why I all in DeepIn and Web3. Yeah, because I think the DeepIn is the next, is the future. Yeah. Especially for me, I was the guy who built the 3G 4G base stations in the past 10 years. Yeah.
Guang, if I may ask a question, putting on my judge hat maybe. So I was talking to another Deepin project that does mostly like RGB data. So basically, they allow anybody to capture data with their smartphones, and then this data is somehow like translated. I don't know if that's maybe like shallow, but into 3D data, and apparently, obviously, that has the pro that obviously anybody you can use like hardware that everybody has, but on the flip side, obviously, I don't know, is the data as relevant or as useful for AI, like for your customers? What are the trade-offs?
Yes, because actually people can generate the 3D data from 2D data, but people must use the algorithm to or the camera is a 2D sensor, it's not a 3D sensor. So people generate the 3D data from 2D data. They must use the algorithm, and the algorithm is not 100% accurate. So the stability, the robust, is not like the 3D sensors. So all the AI companies, they need the ground truth. They need to figure out what exactly the distance between your car to the target. So that's why we are choosing the LiDAR. And you maybe know the Elon Musk said they will never use the LiDAR, but that's just for the car, not for the data collection. Tesla also use the LiDAR to collect the data for AI training, for build the ground truth. Before, I'm LiDAR guy, and just 2 years ago, the LiDAR is very, very expensive. And, just for the small LiDAR, 16 channels, it's $8,000. It's very expensive just for LiDAR. And right now, because thanks for the improvement of the automobile industry, and the LiDAR price goes down very, very sharply. So give us this opportunity to adopt the LiDAR in our hardware.
I don't think you mentioned the price of the hardware yet. How much does it cost? How many are out there right now?
We got two types of the hardware. The small one is just the RTK receiver plus the IMU, and that hardware is very cheap, and the price is $200. And the big one with LiDAR, camera, IMU, and the GNSS, the unit price is $2,500.
And assuming,
and we also have some space for cut the price in the future if we sell more the hardware.
Gotcha. And I'm assuming you incentivize each of those differently.
Yes, of course, different.
Hey, Guang, I think Aaron asked, how many are deployed, and like, are you global now? Like, what's your coverage look like? And just curious how many are out there deployed now.
For the LiDAR one, the professional one, we already deployed 50. We call that device Lightcone. So we deployed 50 units of Lightcone worldwide. And the small one we already deployed. We already sold 3,000, but the online right now, the online is nearly 2,000. 2,000.
And just a quick follow up on that. Are you planning on just doing mobility stuff, or are you planning on military tech, Android? Because obviously they need LiDAR too. Just curious. Like, are you just going to keep in this industry, or are you going to move to other sectors as well?
No, we just we just put this for the civil transportation. It's not for military. Militaries they don't like LiDAR. And so Yeah, and the LiDAR is very useful. In Asia, there are so many ADAS car, more and more ADAS car equipped with LiDAR. Yeah, and maybe I think recently, maybe more than 1 million cars equipped with LiDAR. Yeah, here in Asia.
If I may follow up, Kwang, a quick. What's the ROI on currently on your device? And second question, just to put maybe things in perspective, like when you say you deployed 50 units, like last time we chatted back in Denver, you were saying that to cover, for example, like the whole metropolitan area of Los Angeles, you will need like 10. So 50 can cover quite a large area, right?
Yes. And the ROI, that depends, because we just the TGE, and our token price is not very stable yet. So, but according to yesterday's token price, and for ordinary usage, because the token the token reward not according to the time, according to the how many kilometers the contributors they're running. So yeah, so for the ordinary users, maybe 6 months, I think. Yeah, but that depends. Yeah. And
Not bad at all.
And the raw the LiDAR, the big one with LiDAR device, 50. We already shipped 50 units, and that device not for the HD mapping, because we cannot do the full coverage with this just 50 units worldwide. But we collect the data for the AI training. We already had contact with some of the customers, and that customers is the autonomous driving provider for the OEMs, and they need data for training. And different countries, they have different environment. So we collect data, and also all of our images with depth information and with the IMU, and our IMU is very professional, and the same model as the car ADAS car, and very expensive. And we also use RTK. That's why we cooperate with the GeoNet, because RTK is very essential for the ADAS and the autonomous driving. In Asia, I think I can't remember clearly, but I think more than 3 million car a year, the ADAS car. So all the ADAS car equipped with RTK. So RTK is very essential for the autonomous driving. So that's why we also using the RTK, and so that's why we partner up with GeoNet, and so every hardware, we're using RTK.
I love that partnership. I love that, and that's a great team. I think I saw there were a couple others on your website too that you're working with, Peak as well. Yeah. So can you talk about the blockchain component to this? So you mentioned Peak on your website. It says built on Solana. Obviously we're here with IoTeX as well, and I think that they are also mentioned on the website. Obviously you have your token, and I presume that the token is minted on Solana. Is there anything else that's on chain about this, or is it more of a centralized data storage, centralized company, but with a token component?
Oh, you mean the storage, right? Yeah.
Like is the device a Web3 device in any way, or is it just that rewards are issued with crypto, and that's the extent of the blockchain usage?
Yeah, we incentivize people with crypto, with the tokens.
Right.
But the storage, and because our data is very big, and
of course.
One device, 1 hour, 10 gigabytes.
Right.
So right now, 50 units of LC, the Litecoin, already generate nearly 100 terabytes data.
Yep.
So in the future, we right now we already established our the storage network that's decentralized. But in the future, we will consider to build our own storage network by using the dedicated hardware. So that hardware also incentivized by tokens, and also all the data signature will on chain. Yeah.
Cool. One question I also hope isn't you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I'm curious why your title is temporary CEO. Are you just getting this off the ground and passing this off to somebody else, or what's the plan there?
Yeah, we are decentralized team, and we got an American entity, and we got Cayman Foundation, BVF company, and the Hong Kong company. So I'm not quite sure I have the capability to be the global CEO. So we are seeking the CEO worldwide.
So does the token control ownership of the network? So maybe a centralized company stores the data because it's very, very big, as you're saying, but that company is given rights by the Cayman Foundation to do that, perform that role, or what I guess if you were to remove the incentive token, is there something like what else is decentralized other than just that there's multiple entities working on it?
Because according to our tokenomics, 51% tokens used for the reward for our miners. Yeah, so that's the decentralized. Yeah, 51%.
And that gives them control over the network.
Yes.
So the token holders could vote to store the data somewhere else. They could
actually, we don't have this mature mechanism for the community operation because we just have 5 people right now. The core team members. Yeah, but we are big team because we have a lot of the partners and our suppliers. Yeah. So but the Web3 apart, we don't have enough to be honest, we don't have enough experience, and we are learning right now. Yeah.
That's all right.
Sweet. Yeah, that's honest assessment, and I feel, guys, I don't know about you, but I think it was fair that since we had the glitch with Guang's presentation, we gave him a little bit extra time on stage with us. I think we're totally silently on board with that. That's awesome. If there are no more questions, Guang, I wanted to thank you, obviously, for doing this. Sorry for the technical difficulty, but we'll catch up afterwards and keep working on any sort of like collaboration with the IDEX ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you.
For sure. All right, guys, just the 5 of us now, and a couple of people watching. Rob, I remember last time when we did the episode, you wanted to put together all the projects that came and pitched into one project. I think today we could have a let's see, a car that basically has the rover device on top, stores the data through Flashback, also has a Nubila device for the weather, and all that is fed into a model that's created on Lilypad. What do you guys think?
I love it. Parallel markets at the post.
Yeah, one of those will have to, get into M&A mode and buy all the others. And I saw there was some major DeepIn consolidation, yesterday when Who Loves Burrito and a couple other, they all combined. So I guess it's M&A season for DeepIn projects.
Love it.
Love it. I don't know. What did you guys think? What impressed you? Let's maybe take a couple of minutes and then we end at the half-hour mark. How you guys feeling about what we watched today?
Go ahead, Kel. I'm sorry, brother.
I have a soft spot in my heart for the weather. I think the weather data market's already well established, and it's got a long track record of viability. So I think there's some obvious incentive improvements that can be made there. So I'm kind of a sucker for that. But I've got also a lot of interest in any kind of open AI compute. It's still very novel, very new. And so I'm always interested to see better versions of these model marketplaces. Flashback's interesting. The storage recommendations, the dynamic understanding of the choices that are out there is useful in some ways. It's interesting that they kind of pivoted from providing their own competitor storage network into just becoming like an advisor on how best to approach those options. And then with Rover, that's always just like with Debo, it's the car technology. It's just constantly giving data opportunities. So lots of potential there.
Sweet.
Yeah, almost have the same sentiment as you, Kel. Yeah, bullish on. I'm a founder guy, so met Benson a while ago. He actually goes to the same co-creation office out here in Silicon Valley. So when he's literally walking around with the device all around San Francisco in his hand. I was bullish on the guy then. So super cool to see how far they've come. Lilypad as well. I met Ali a long time ago. To see that they've gotten to 300,000 users is just it's amazing for the whole space, right? Rob, you always say the rising tide lifts the deep in marina. So it's like the more somebody wins, it's good for all of us. And I also think the pivot from being your own storage provider to what he's doing now, like I like to see that, because that was almost the same issue I have with storage. And even for ourselves at Orbital Beam, I was going to build another accelerator. Why build another accelerator when there's no post accelerator? So yeah, I love how in Web3 you're literally building the airplane as you fly, and you got to be able to pivot when needed. And Rover, I'm really big on. I love what they're doing, and I love how he came from that industry. Literally, he's very humble, but literally the guy built the thing we see in Silicon Valley on all of the cars. So who better to know the problems and issues than somebody like that who comes from that industry? Same thing as Demo, right? Who better than them to know what data's worth and what things that they can get from the car data. So yeah, I'm really bullish on all four. It's really hard to pick the best one.
Right?
I think too, one thing that's interesting about these projects, they're all at different stages, and some are raising their seed round, and some have 300,000 users. So that kind of sets some of them apart as well. When obviously Lilypad is as a more fleshed out, robust offering, they're not just with the MVP anymore. They have something that's more together, and are just kind of generally further along. So it's like you could evaluate them based on their progress, in which case, obviously, the products that have been around a little bit longer and have built out more of the roadmap are going to be ahead. You could base them on their potential, which I think they all have a ton of potential. I'm a little bit partial to the AI marketplace use cases. I think Lilypad's very interesting. But then again, like there's many competitors on that. I have to stare at that slide a little bit longer to see if that's fair. All the ones I got the X's versus the check marks, but I think with all of these, I think all four of them, I have friends at senior roles and competitors of all of them. So I'm fans of the model. Who will actually win comes down to execution. I think all the teams seem to be off to a great start. They, doing anything with hardware is never easy, and a couple of them have their own hardware devices that they're getting out into the world, and I have a lot of respect for being able to do that. And standing out in the field of AI and storage is incredible. There's so many crypto storage projects, and there's an order of magnitude more AI projects across crypto and non-crypto to compete with, and finding a moat there has been difficult with just how quickly Google probably just crushed the dreams of a lot of different AI companies yesterday at Google I/O with some of the products that they were releasing. So not to say that you can't have competition here, but it's interesting. They're all quite different, and I think all have a ton of potential.
Yeah, 100% agree. So we've had 4 today, and there's going to be 2 more episodes within these semifinals that we've selected. So I believe another 8 projects to come, and they're all going to be of this quality, if not better. So super excited to get into those. It's going to be happening on a weekly basis from here for the next 3 weeks. And I just want to say I think the format worked pretty well. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties there with Rover, but outside of that, I thought I really liked the way we had the presentation, all recorded, very snappy, and then moving into the question period. We guys agree around the table?
Yeah, it was good. Loved it. And I don't know, I'm just scared because it's getting more difficult to then pick fewer projects for the finals and then the winners. But yeah, it's, I don't know, exciting problem to have maybe. But guys, thank you very much for giving us this hour and a half. I hope you had a great time. I mean, your inputs were amazing. So you guys basically make the episode as well. So that's really awesome to have you. So thank you very much. Aaron, thank you for doing this together. And we'll see everybody next week for Semifinals episode 2.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.